Hello everyone, Dr. Mandell here. Today I'm going to share with you one powerful food that contains up to 700 milligrams of magnesium in a single serving. And this can be a game changer for your muscle recovery, leg strength, nerve function, and overall energy levels. Most people are walking around magnesium deficient and they never realize it. Leg cramps, muscle stiffness, fatigue, weakness, poor sleep. These are the clues. And the answer may be sitting right in your kitchen. Pumpkin seeds may look small, but inside them lies one of the most concentrated sources of magnesium found anywhere in nature. A mineral so powerful that your entire muscular system depends on it to function. When scientists analyzed just half a cup of pumpkin seeds, they discovered something astonishing. Up to 700 milligrams of magnesium, more than most supplements, more than most diets provide in days, and more than enough to reverse the hidden deficiency silently weakening millions of bodies around the world. Magnesium is not just a mineral. It is the master switch behind energy production, muscle strength, and the electrical impulses that allow your body to move, yet nearly 75% of adults fail to get enough of it daily. This deficiency doesn't always shout, but it whispers through leg cramps at night, heavy fatigue in the morning, and muscles that feel weaker with every passing year. When magnesium drops, the muscle fibers in the legs lose their ability to contract and relax smoothly. They misfire, they tighten, they spasm, and slowly, step by step, even everyday movements begin to feel heavier. Pumpkin seeds deliver more magnesium per serving than almonds, spinach, chia, or cashews, and the reason this matters is because magnesium acts as the guardian of ATP, the molecule that fuels every muscle contraction in your body. Without magnesium, ATP cannot activate. Without ATP, muscles cannot fire. And without firing, strength disappears. When researchers measured ATP activity in magnesium-deficient individuals, they found dramatic declines in physical performance, resilience, and muscle power. But when magnesium levels were restored, strength rebounded, sometimes in just days. That's why pumpkin seeds are considered a functional recovery food. They don't just nourish the body, they replenish the very pathways that generate force, balance, and movement. Inside these seeds is a biochemical force that rewires your physiology. Magnesium calms the nerves that trigger muscle fibers, but it also fuels the mitochondria, the power stations inside your cells. When mitochondria struggle, you feel it. Slower recovery, burning fatigue after simple tasks, difficulty climbing stairs, and legs that feel older than you are. One serving of pumpkin seeds floods your system with enough magnesium to reactivate these cellular engines, restoring the energy your muscles have been begging for. Studies from the National Institutes of Health show that magnesium deficiency increases inflammation, disrupts glucose uptake into muscle cells, and accelerates muscle breakdown. This means muscles starve, weaken, and shrink over time. Pumpkin seeds counter this process by delivering magnesium in a natural, bioavailable form, allowing your body to absorb and use it efficiently. But the story goes deeper. Magnesium is essential for repairing muscle microtears caused by daily movement, exercise, or even simple walking. When your muscles lack magnesium, these tiny tears heal slowly, leaving you feeling stiff, sore, and unstable. With adequate magnesium intake, especially from a potent source like pumpkin seeds, the repair process speeds up. Cells begin rebuilding faster, protein synthesis rises, muscle fibers regain elasticity, and the body begins a quiet transformation. Pain decreases, endurance rises, and the legs feel more alive, more responsive, more capable. The nervous system also responds instantly to magnesium. Every message your brain sends to your legs travels through electrical channels built on magnesium-dependent reactions. Without magnesium, those channels flicker. With magnesium restored, the signals strengthen, reaction times improve, and stability returns. Many people think they're losing strength because of age, but science says otherwise. Most are simply losing minerals. Magnesium is one of the first to disappear from the modern diet, stripped from processed foods and depleted in commercial soil. Pumpkin seeds, however, remain untouched by this nutritional decay, carrying their full mineral load like a natural survival food designed to restore what modern living removes. What makes pumpkin seeds even more remarkable is the synergy within them. The magnesium doesn't act alone. It works with natural plant compounds that enhance absorption, stabilize electrolytes, and reduce oxidative stress. Every handful is like sending reinforcements to your muscles. Minerals, antioxidants, amino acids, and healthy fats, all arriving at once, all working together. Clinical studies show that people who consume magnesium-rich foods like pumpkin seeds experience lower levels of inflammation markers such as CRP, meaning their muscles recover faster and their joints move more freely. Inflammation is one of the silent forces behind muscle weakness, and magnesium is one of the few nutrients proven to tame it naturally. When you eat pumpkin seeds consistently, something else happens internally. Your body begins rebuilding its magnesium reserves, stores hidden inside bones and tissues that act as a backup for times of stress, exertion, or poor diet. Most adults have nearly empty reserves, operating with just enough magnesium to survive, but not enough to thrive. This is why one stressful week, one night of poor sleep, or one intense workout can trigger cramps, fatigue, and muscle tightness. But with pumpkin seeds, those reserves refill, your body becomes more resilient, muscles stay calmer, energy lasts longer, and physical strength becomes easier to reclaim. It is not an exaggeration to say that magnesium is the foundation of muscular life. Every time your legs take a step, magnesium is behind it. Every time your heart beats, magnesium activates the electrical rhythm. Every time your muscles relax after tightening, magnesium is the key. And every time you feel that deep, satisfying sense of physical strength, magnesium is the silent force in the background. Pumpkin seeds are one of the rare foods that supply enough magnesium in a single serving to change how your body feels within days. This is why researchers classify them as a therapeutic, nutrient-dense food. They don't just feed you, they restore you. So when you look at something as small and simple as a pumpkin seed, don't underestimate what nature designed it to do. Inside this tiny package is a mineral your body has been craving, a mineral capable of igniting energy, repairing tissue, calming nerves, and rebuilding strength from the inside out. If your muscles feel weaker, if your legs tire too quickly, if cramps interrupt your sleep, if your body feels older than you remember, magnesium may be the missing link, and pumpkin seeds may be the most powerful natural way to bring it back. One small serving, one massive impact, one simple food that delivers the magnesium your muscles have been waiting for, perhaps for years. Magnesium is the mineral that human muscles depend on more than almost anything else, yet most people never realize how deeply it shapes every movement they make. Your muscles contract, relax, generate force, steady your posture, and recover from stress through a process that looks simple on the outside, but is powered by a complex electrical system inside your cells. Magnesium is at the center of that system, acting like the spark that switches muscle fibers on and the stabilizer that allows them to turn off again. Without it, your body becomes like a machine running with faulty wiring, twitching unexpectedly, cramping without warning, and gradually losing strength in ways that feel mysterious but are rooted in pure biochemistry. Researchers at the National Institutes of Health have shown that magnesium is essential for more than 300 reactions in the human body, but its effect on muscles is the most dramatic and the most unforgiving when levels drop. What happens inside your muscles when magnesium falls too low is something few people ever learn. The calcium channels inside your muscle fibers become confused. Calcium rushes in uncontrollably, causing the muscle to contract even when it shouldn't. Without magnesium there to counterbalance it, the muscle locks, tightens, and refuses to relax. That's what creates the stabbing leg cramps at night that wake millions of people from sleep. That's what creates the sudden spasms in the calves, the tightness in the thighs, the weakness when climbing stairs, the trembling after short walks. Magnesium is the mineral that prevents this storm. It controls every contraction, every release, every voluntary movement your body makes. And when you don't have enough of it, your nervous system becomes overstimulated, firing signals too quickly or too slowly, leaving your muscles confused and exhausted. Scientists studying magnesium deficiency discovered something shocking. A drop in magnesium as little as 10 to 15% can disrupt nerve impulses enough to mimic nerve damage. That means your legs may feel numb, heavy, or unsteady, not because they are weak, but because the mineral that carries electrical signals is missing. When nerve signals weaken, muscle fibers lose their coordination. They stop firing evenly. They lose synchronization. And that's when people start feeling like they're aging faster than they should. But the truth is, this is not age. It is depletion. Magnesium is the mineral that protects the communication between brain and muscle, and when it disappears from the diet, the body begins a downward slide that many assume is simply part of growing older. The deeper scientists looked, the more staggering the findings became. Magnesium is required for ATP, the molecule that powers every cellular activity. ATP is responsible for lifting your legs, maintaining your posture, helping you walk, and giving you energy after you wake up. But ATP cannot function without magnesium attached to it. Without magnesium, ATP is inactive. It becomes a powerless molecule, unable to fuel your muscles. When magnesium levels drop, ATP production slows, and you feel it in the most primal ways. Heaviness in your legs, exhaustion after mild effort, weakness that doesn't match your age, and soreness that lingers far longer than it should. Many people think their muscles are failing, but the truth is their cells simply don't have the energy they need because ATP cannot operate without magnesium acting as the ignition key. Studies from Harvard and Oxford have shown that low magnesium levels increase inflammatory markers, disrupt glucose transport into muscle cells, and slow muscle repair by nearly 50%. That means that without magnesium, your muscles cannot heal properly. They remain stiff, they remain sore, and they remain vulnerable to injury. People blame aging, they blame weight, they blame lack of exercise. But so often the real reason is chemical. The muscles are starving for a mineral they cannot function without. Magnesium is also deeply tied to muscle endurance. During physical activity, lactic acid builds up in the muscles. Magnesium is required to clear this acid, preventing the burning sensation that stops so many people in their tracks. When magnesium is absent, lactic acid builds up faster, and the muscles fatigue long before they should. That's why people who are magnesium deficient often struggle with tasks that used to be easy: walking long distances, climbing stairs, carrying groceries, bending or squatting. Their muscles simply cannot maintain energy long enough to complete these movements comfortably. But the story becomes even more powerful when you understand how magnesium influences the mind-muscle connection. Every movement you make starts as an electrical signal in the brain. That signal travels through the spinal cord and into the nerves that activate your muscles. The speed and accuracy of that signal depends on magnesium. Low magnesium slows the signal. It causes misfires. It disrupts timing. And timing is everything when it comes to strength. Without precise timing, muscle fibers don't contract together. They don't produce maximum force. They don't stabilize joints properly. This is why people with magnesium deficiency often experience tremors, instability, and shakiness in the legs. Their muscles are receiving scrambled messages because the electrical system is running without the mineral that keeps it stable. There is a reason professional athletes monitor magnesium closely. A deficiency as small as 5% can reduce peak power. A deficiency of 10% can impair speed. A deficiency of 20% can cause full muscle dysfunction. Yet the average adult consumes 40 to 60% less magnesium than their body actually needs. This means millions of people are walking around with muscles that cannot perform, cannot recover, and cannot strengthen properly simply because they are missing a nutrient that can be restored within days. When magnesium is replenished, the transformation is often rapid and dramatic. Muscles begin to contract more smoothly. Nerve impulses regain their rhythm. The feeling of heaviness in the legs lightens. Balance improves. Cramps diminish. Energy returns. And the body begins functioning at the level it was designed to operate. This is not magic. It is science. The moment magnesium enters the bloodstream, it begins restoring the balance between calcium and muscle fibers. It reactivates ATP, it stabilizes nerve function, and it allows the muscles to work with the efficiency they were built for. Magnesium is not optional for strength. It is not optional for movement. It is not optional for recovery. It is the mineral that your muscles have been speaking about every time they cramp, every time they shake, every time they weaken, every time they ache. And when you give your body what it needs, it responds with a strength and vitality that many forget they were ever capable of. Magnesium fuels it. Magnesium triggers it. Magnesium protects it. And your muscles have been waiting for it far longer than you know. When you eat just half a cup of pumpkin seeds, something extraordinary happens inside your body. Something most people never feel, simply because they've gone their entire lives without enough magnesium to understand what real muscle function feels like. This single serving delivers close to 700 milligrams of magnesium. and the moment it enters your bloodstream, it begins to reverse a process that has quietly drained your strength for years. Magnesium doesn't just sit in the blood, it searches for the muscles, your legs, your back, your core, and enters the cells like a rescue team arriving after a long delay. Scientists at the American Physiological Society have shown that magnesium is absorbed into muscle tissue faster when the body is deficient, meaning your muscles take it in like a sponge that's been dry for too long. That's why many people feel relief, improvement, or unexpected energy within days of increasing magnesium intake. The first process pumpkin seeds repairs the cycle of contraction and relaxation. Every time your muscle fibers repair micro tears, they need magnesium to stabilize the proteins that rebuild the damaged tissue. Without magnesium, those fibers heal slowly, unevenly, and incompletely. But with magnesium restored, muscle repair becomes efficient, protein synthesis increases, the fibers grow stronger and more resilient. This is what athletes experience when they supplement magnesium. They recover faster, cramp less, and gain strength with less effort. But you don't need supplements if you have a natural, powerful source like pumpkin seeds delivering the mineral exactly as nature designed it. Inside those muscle cells, magnesium binds to ATP, the molecule that fuels movement. Without this bond, ATP is useless. It cannot power the muscle. It cannot generate strength. It cannot sustain endurance. It cannot help your legs push you forward. But when magnesium floods the cells after a serving of pumpkin seeds, ATP becomes active again. It becomes energy, real physical energy you can feel. This is the shift people notice when magnesium levels rise. Suddenly, stairs feel easier. Standing up feels smoother. Walking feels lighter. Muscles that used to fatigue quickly begin to feel stable. And it's not because the muscles got stronger overnight. It's because their energy system turned back on. Meanwhile, pumpkin seeds don't just deliver magnesium. They bring other compounds that enhance magnesium's effect. They contain zinc, a mineral that boosts muscle repair and immune function. They contain healthy fats that reduce inflammation around muscle fibers. They contain antioxidants like vitamin E that protect muscle cells from oxidative stress, the very stress that accelerates aging and weakens tissue over time. When magnesium works alongside these nutrients, its impact multiplies. The body enters a state scientists call optimal mineral synergy, where nutrients absorb faster, repair happens quicker, and energy production rises significantly. That's why pumpkin seeds are considered a functional superfood, not just a snack. They deliver a biochemical package that supports every stage of muscle growth and recovery. One of the most powerful effects happens inside your nerves. Magnesium from pumpkin seeds stabilizes the NMDA receptors, tiny channels in the nervous system responsible for sending signals to the muscles. When magnesium levels are low, these channels remain open, overstimulated, and flooded with signals. That's what causes twitching, spasms, restlessness, and nighttime leg cramps. But magnesium closes these channels, calming the nervous system and restoring balance. This is why magnesium is known as nature's neuromodulator. It resets the electrical system that controls every muscle in your body. People who eat magnesium-rich foods like pumpkin seeds often report deeper sleep, fewer cramps, and improved coordination because their nerves finally stop firing erratically. As magnesium is restored, blood vessels in the muscles relax. This improves circulation, delivering more oxygen and nutrients to muscle tissue. Better circulation means faster healing. Faster healing means faster recovery. And faster recovery means your muscles can grow stronger with less effort. Research from the University of Minnesota found that magnesium deficiency reduces muscular blood flow by up to 30%, starving the tissues and slowing repair. When corrected, circulation rapidly improves. Muscles begin receiving the nourishment they were missing. And that's when strength returns, not as a slow process, but as a biological correction that happens rapidly once your body gets what it needs. The effects extend far beyond strength. When pumpkin seeds restore magnesium levels, inflammation markers such as CRP begin to fall. Lower inflammation means less stiffness and less pain. Muscles that once felt tight become more flexible. Movements that once felt restricted become smoother. This is not simply comfort. It is a restoration of how your muscles were meant to function. Chronic inflammation is one of the hidden forces that weakens the body as it ages, and magnesium is one of the few natural agents powerful enough to counter it. This is why people who regularly consume magnesium-rich foods often report fewer aches, fewer tension areas, and an overall lighter sensation in their muscles. Pumpkin seeds also help stabilize glucose transport into muscle cells. When magnesium is low, insulin becomes less effective at opening the pathways that allow glucose to enter the cells. That means the muscles are deprived of fuel. But magnesium reactivates these pathways, allowing glucose to flow into the muscles efficiently. Energy levels rise, fatigue decreases, endurance improves, and everyday tasks begin to require less effort. Scientists have found that magnesium deficiency can mimic chronic fatigue, because without glucose entering the cells, the muscles operate in survival mode. When those levels rise again, fatigue often disappears in a matter of days. Perhaps the most profound effect is on muscle resilience. When the body receives consistent magnesium from sources like pumpkin seeds, it begins refilling its mineral reserves, storage units in the bones and tissues that the body draws from during physical stress. These reserves protect you during intense activity, long work days, periods of poor sleep, and moments of emotional stress when the nervous system becomes overactive. With full reserves, your muscles operate with confidence. They don't fail easily, they don't cramp suddenly, they don't collapse under fatigue. They function as they were designed, with stability, precision, and strength. Just half a cup of pumpkin seeds can start this process. Not because they are a miracle food, but because they restore a mineral your body has been quietly begging for. When magnesium rises, muscles awaken, they stabilize, they strengthen, they respond, and the transformation can feel like rediscovering a version of your body you thought you'd lost forever. If you want, stronger legs, better balance, faster muscle recovery, less cramping, better sleep, start adding pumpkin seeds into your daily routine. This is one of nature's most powerful magnesium superfoods, and your muscles will thank you for it. This is Dr. Mandell, wishing you great health.